Hello, bonjour, hola, saubona, and dumela. Welcome back to FootballerXP, the 91st best football channel on YouTube. Yes, that's where we currently stand. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every single time we release a new video and blah blah blah. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to be focusing on something rather interesting. We're going to be taking a look at what I consider to be, and many other professional players by the way, consider to be the hardest shooting technique in football. Yes, you guessed it, it's the knuckleball. Now I always say to my players, all the players I've coached, I've always told them that the best way to learn a sport very quickly is to be able to understand the physics that are applied to that sport. That's the best way to grasp the concept of any sport as quickly as possible. The interesting thing about the knuckleball, we're going to take a look at the physics behind it because, you know, that way you guys can learn it quicker. Now, when you look at the knuckleball, what makes it unique to other shooting techniques is that it is the only shooting technique where the ball does not spin. Like, the aim of the knuckleball is to try to get little to zero spin on the ball. With other shooting techniques, you know, the ball will usually spin slightly. If you're curving the ball, then you want it to spin as much as possible. But what the spinning of the ball does, you see, is it exerts a force onto the ball that causes the ball to drift in the direction that the ball is spinning towards. So take a look at this. Okay, so if I kick the right side of the ball, it's going to spin in an anti-clockwise direction, right? And that force that's exerted onto the ball will make the ball drift to the left, right? Same way, if I kick the ball on the left, it's going to spin in a clockwise direction, making it drift to the right. So what you want to do with the knuckleball is we want to get it a straight shot. You want to try and minimize the amount of spin that you have on the ball, because then that way the ball doesn't drift as much through the shot. Now, the reason that happens is because of air molecules. Now, I'm about to tell you something. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, why is T.E.E MAN teaching us a lesson on physics? I came here to learn soccer. Physics is the fundamental part of any sport. So it's very important that you understand this. So, the world around us, everything that you see, the air, is made up of little air molecules that are all bouncing off each other and moving in all sorts of random directions. Right? Now, the more air molecules that you compress into a smaller area, the more air pressure there is in that area. That's what air pressure is. That's all it is. It's just more air molecules bouncing off each other within a smaller space. So when you pump a soccer ball, what you're doing is you're increasing the number of air molecules within that soccer ball, adding air pressure to that ball. Now, how does this impact the shot? Well, see, with the knuckleball, the ball has no spin. So there is no added force from that spin. So you're sending the ball into the air, and now the ball is reacting to the outside realm, where air molecules are not so much attached to each other, they're not as close to each other as they are within that ball. And so they're moving in all sorts of different directions, and that reaction with the ball and the outside realm causes the ball to shift and drift from side to side, unpredictably and uncontrollably. So keepers dread this shot technique the most because it's very hard to predict. If you're taking a shot and you curve the ball to the left, then the keeper knows, okay, I should prepare myself to dive in that direction, right? But with a knuckleball, it doesn't have any spin. So yeah, I'm aiming for the top right corner. I sweep the knuckleball, but on the journey from my foot to the goalpost, that ball is going to do a lot of random drifting. And that's why it's really effective and a good skill to know. Although it is the hardest. And like many other things, like many other skills, pretty much every other skill, it takes a lot of discipline, patience, and practice to get it right. Okay, so now that we've got the physics, the boring part out of the way, let's go out onto the field and actually take some shots so you can practically see what it is you need to do to get the shot right, your technique, your positioning, and your follow through. Basically these three things that you can use to deliver a knuckleball. So I think the most important thing to remember here is our main objective. Our main objective is to kick the ball without the ball spinning too much. We want to minimize the amount of spin on the ball. Now, having said that, most of the work that you put into making that happen has to happen before you've actually touched the ball. Before you kick the ball, you've pretty much done 90% of the work. I see a lot of people put so much effort into the follow through. You know, they won't really do anything before they kick the ball, and then after they kick the ball, bam! Lifting your legs all the way high up to your face. Dude, once you've kicked the ball, it's gone. Once you touched it, there's nothing you can do about it. Once the ball's gone, that's that. So all the work, pretty much 90, not even 90%, 95% of your shot comes from what you do before you kick the ball. So your run-up, probably the most important thing. We approach the ball on our toes with the knuckleball because that locks our ankles. And by locking our ankles, that helps us hit the ball in the right spot. We want to hit the ball right in the middle. That's the only way you can prevent having too much spin, because if you hit the ball too low, you're going to get too much backspin. And if you hit it high up, it's not going to get much height and it's going to have too much forward spin. If you hit it too much to the side, it's going to spin that way. If you hit it too much to that side, it's going to spin this way. So we want to hit it right in the middle. So by approaching the ball on your tiptoes, that keeps your ankles locked. So that when you connect with the ball, you connect right in the middle. Now, you've seen so many players before they take a free kick, they always pick the ball up and then they start playing around with it. In case you've always wondered why they do that, they'll spin the ball around. They're looking for the valve, because that valve gives you a visual representation of where the center of the ball is. If your ball to eye coordination is not that good, you know, it's a good strategy to use. You just look for the valve and place the ball in the middle, then you have a visual representation of where the center of the ball is, where you want to kick. I've been playing football for so long now that it's just second nature to me. I don't need to use the valve. I always just connect where I want to, because I have a mental image in my mind already of where I should be kicking before I even take my kick. But if you're new, if you're a beginner, you're an amateur and you're not that experienced, always use the valve. It's a good hack. So now that we've covered the run up, okay, so we're here on your toes. I like to hit the ball. Actually, come have a look. So I want to connect the ball right there, and I'm going to use this part of my foot, the top, because I'll say the inside step, the top of the inside step, because that's a really bony area, so you don't have to put as much power to get a powerful shot out of your kick. And now the interesting part about this is, so when you're kicking it, the follow through is not as long as most other follow throughs for other shots. You want to kick the ball, so as you kick, you're coming over, and it's just a very short movement, very quick movement and a very short step. So it's in, step across. So the reason we're doing that, the reason we're not following through all the way is because when you follow through too far forward, you're going to generate more spin on the ball. What we want to do is kick the ball and release. So you're just kicking the ball into the air and then that's it, your job is done. So as quickly as you can, follow through and put your other foot back down. Now most of the time, naturally, your kicking foot will end up falling across planted foot, because it just feels natural that way. You regain your balance quickly. But the most important thing with the follow through is to make sure that you release quick enough. If you don't release, I promise you the ball is going to spin too much every single time. And we don't want that. We want as minimal spin on the ball as possible. I can't stress this enough. I've said it like 5 times in this video, so it can get into your heads. That's the most important thing about the knuckle. And that wraps up today's video, guys. I hope it's been really helpful for you and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you have, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, also hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we release a new video like this one, a new video that can help you improve your skills as a football player. I'll see you next time on FootballerXP.